I'm sure she's already given a lovely introduction with the name and company we are working with, but I'm sure everyone wants to know what exactly that you do. Can you, each one of you, take 1 minute to just tell exactly what your company does or what you deliver in India?
Hi, I'm Jagrit. I'm from Aion-Tech Solutions. So in Aion-Tech Solutions, we do data analytics and consulting services. We have other subsidiaries called Ito Motors, where we do fleet management, and then Keto Motors, where we manufacture EV trucks and three-wheelers for cargo and passengers.
Hello everyone, hi. I'm Rajat, founder and CEO of DesignX. I'm a manufacturing fanboy. I always wanted to serve manufacturing. So what we ended up building is a product called DFOS, Digital Factory Operating System. Right now we are helping more than 700 plus factories globally, including Unilever to ITC to Nestle to Dabur to Hero to Bajaj. You take a brand, we are helping their operation on the shop floor. And we are taking this platform of ours from Make in India and we are now serving globally. So that's why. Thank you, everyone.
Hello, everyone. My name is Sai Sridhar. Good afternoon to you and to my fellow panelists here. So I am the Managing Director for Elektrobit India Private Limited and also the Chief Revenue Officer for India and ASEAN region, largely APAC. Elektrobit is a product and services company that makes significant amount of software work for the SDVs. Talk about differentiating software, non-differentiating software that affects the performance, that affects the connectivity, that affects the interaction between a consumer. So we are pretty much playing in that space.
Very good afternoon. My name is Brahmanand Patil. I represent Vector Informatik in India. Vector is into automotive software, tool chain, embedded software, and also now with SDV coming in, a lot of software back into the cloud, backend software, so on. So we work with OEMs, tier ones, tech companies, services companies globally, as well as in India also across the segments, two-wheelers, four-wheelers. So wherever there is an electronic control unit, our software is either used to develop it, test it, validate, and also certain parts that go into the ECUs. Happy to share the views today.
Hello all, myself Mahesh. I represent Jaguar Land Rover, India, and pleasure being here. So I look after the software-defined vehicles platforms here. So it's been a program for a while that we are doing in Jaguar, and looking forward to the conversation.
Right. Great. Quickly, last but not least, I'm Ajesh. I have two companies. One is Ozone Motors, which we have built an electric car, and we pretty much use most of the services that they use or we have built. I've also advised a company on building an autonomous bus, and I've been on the Forbes on the AI for mobility. So we have built a software on the AI for vision technology. So I think I'd be in the right place to ask most of the questions in this because I'm covering pretty much most of the bases, and I could be a customer or you could be my customer as well. At the first part, obviously, Ganesh was here, my good friend. He's already given all the details about the electric vehicle and where the market is, how it's going to be on the commercial side. But coming from ICE to electric, software becomes most important part today. That's where the discussion is going on. So I want everyone to give one quick answer on how much of SDV is needed and at what is the limit of SDV that should be there in a vehicle. Let it be on the manufacturing side because software is used at the ground, at the mid-level, or the top level, or also at the manufacturing level. So each one are you in different calibers. So I want on your point of view on how much of software should go on it.
Well, I'll talk about the cybersecurity in that. Which is a very, very important point to be discussed for EV vehicles because EV vehicles are like computer on wheels and they are generating humongous amount of data, and the kind of data that they are generating that can be used for analytics, getting insights, and also it can be theft, it can be stolen. So the threats could be where battery manipulation could be there, charging fraud could be there, vehicles steal will be there, or consumer behavior pattern can be stolen. So to avoid this, security should be integrated into the architecture rather than it will be an add-on later.
Yes, sir.
I'm more of a proponent of software-defined mobility. I mean, slightly bigger idea of software-defined vehicle, because now I see, especially after EV, we are standing at a juncture where mobile phones were at one point of time, right? Where just despite serving a utility, they converted a minute to a GB of data, right? With the vehicle, we are standing somewhere at that juncture. And I think there is a huge opportunity to create an ecosystem which stitches everything from the vehicle to the insurance provider to the fleet manager to the every single element of the entire value chain. And combinedly, it can give a great value for the end customer. So that's my viewpoint for the SDV or the software defined mobility.
And Sai, they build the core tech. So
I think that's pretty much spoken. Now, one of the things that EV really brought a very deep perspective was EV is digitally native. And when a digitally native system means it's not just about having to do something and having it deployed, but it's also to ensure it is sustainably maintained over the life cycle. EV changed that equation. With ICE, it was all about building that vehicle, having that right software inside, right hardware inside, right actuation inside, and there we go. We give it to a consumer who uses it until it eventually dies out, maybe 7, 8 years down the line. But EV turned the equation and said, there is a whole lot of components there which are electronically and thereof need software to control it. And you know what, by the way, this is something that we can control over the life cycle of the vehicle, which means your vehicle becomes better as time passes. EV changed that. And we clearly know which OEM took that courage and had that done. So software defined is not just going to be EVs, but EVs set the right benchmark to ensure how vehicles will be built for the future. And increasingly more, it's not just about the software that resides on the vehicle, it's also about its deep interaction to the ecosystem around it, which is going to have a very big impact. And thereof, like my fellow panelists said, cybersecurity, the digital asset, the data that emerges out of it. So all of that increasingly and interestingly is going to be governed by software.
So now comes to Brahma. Brahma controls the world. So, and you're creating a software that's going to control the transportation and mobility. So, probably are you?
So, rightly, like Sai added, and also looking at the larger picture of mobility, I want to highlight a fundamental difference. In fact, ICE engine also has a lot of software inside already, which is built, like Sai explained clearly, it's built upfront and it is put in the vehicle and it's there for the life. Yeah, possibly some bug fixes are done. But when it comes to EV, before that, the challenge also with ICE is homologation is a big challenge. You cannot modify the torque curve of an ICE engine vehicle over the air. You'll have to go to ARAI, again get it homologated. Whereas in EV, it's rather a must because the powertrain has not evolved as much as ICE. ICE is there for hundreds of years. Engines are more or less seasoned and done. We just have to meet emission norms or make it a bit more efficient or bring more power. That's where the software sitting inside is tuning it, making it refined and perform better. But EV, it's not an evolved powertrain. The batteries are still a mystery. People are working on it. We heard also in the earlier panels. So it's very important to be able to fine tune the EV, which is also sold to the customer. That's where the importance of bringing ability to update the software over there, bringing new applications, and then whole lot of things that we can bring in with the connected vehicle is possible in EV. So that's the major differentiation and why EVs are more software driven. And also, if you look at established OEMs, they are looking at EVs as a fresh playground. They are bringing a lot of abilities in the cockpit, if it's a passenger car, if it's a commercial vehicle, like we heard from Mr. Ganesh Mani just now. A lot of connectivity helps them get data from the buses, huge amount of data. They are monitoring it. So this is a huge playground for OEMs as well. So this is the reason why EV is seen as a software heavy and a lot of potential for software.
Yes, Mahesh.
So Brahma has covered most of my points as well. So I'll try to see if I can give a OEM perspective to what a software or SDV means for us. I think